Hi everyone. I am here today as a continuation to our Homeschool Help mini-series. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about motivation, or maybe lack thereof. So it seems across the board, students, parents, we're all kind of struggling to find that motivation that we need right now. So first off, I want everybody to feel that and know that you're not alone in that. That is something that we are all struggling with right now. So I hope what comes of this is, for lack of a better word, maybe that you feel a little more motivated. Maybe that you walk away from this feeling a little bit more energized, feeling that maybe there's some new tips or secrets that you can try. There is not a one-size-fits-all cure or, a miracle tip for motivation. But there's a couple little things that we can try. So I'm hoping that's, again, what comes from this. Okay, so we have talked already about structuring your environment and structuring your time, right? So you've done that. Your student has a place to work, they have a routine set, but we're still not motivated. Why? Why is that? That's the number one thing I think we need to do right now is talk to your child. Find out why they're not motivated. What is going on? Is it the platform that's being used? Is it the content? Are they bored? Do they not understand the content? Is it the workload? Is it the grading policy? I know that a lot of districts have made changes in what their grading policy is right now. So for some students, I think that is motivating. That has been helpful. Whereas for other students, maybe not so much. So talk to your student, talk to your child, and find out what is the reason for the lack of motivation. And if you just say, hey, why aren't you doing your work? Why aren't you motivated? What kind of answer do you think you're going to get? I don't know. I don't want to. So ask those specific questions. Ask about content. Ask about the platform. Ask about the grading policy. Okay? Start with those and problem solve what you can based on those answers that your child gives you. Okay? Secondly, depending on what type of answer you get, some solutions might be, let's break down these assignments. If it's too much, if you're looking at this is what I have to do today, throughout the week, whatever it may be, that can be overwhelming for anybody. So let's break it down. Even if your assignments are on the computer, what your daily tasks are, what your weekly tasks are, write them down. Take it off the computer and manually write down what your assignments are. That way in front of you, you have a visual that you can check off as you go. And we all know it feels good to check something off that list, right? You see that accomplishment right there in front of you. And it makes it a little less overwhelming to look, okay, you know what? Instead of looking at all of this, I only have this much to do. So break it down. With that comes realistic expectations. Our students' attention and energy and engagement right now is not going to be the same as if they were sitting in their classroom. Okay? Typically right now, we shouldn't expect more than 10 to 30 minutes of sustained attention from our students, from your child, okay? And that's going to vary based on your child's age, if there's any pre-existing conditions going on. There can be a whole lot of factors. But 10 to 30 minutes of sustained attention is what you can kind of expect right now. So work with that. Have realistic expectations. For our younger kids, let's do 10 to 15 minutes of work and then let's take a brain break. Let's get up, let's move around, and then come back and refocus. For our older kids, 20 to 30 minutes of work, and then they can get up, they can get a drink of water, they can check out a YouTube video, they can do a TikTok, whatever it may be, and then we're going to get back to work, okay? So breaking things down, having realistic expectations. It's going to help. Again, in talking to your child, asking them, what do you want to come from this? When this is all said and done, what do you want to have come out of this? Do you want to increase your math grade or your reading grade? Do you want to say, I completed this whole book series. I read the latest Harry Potter. Do you want to say, I learned to bake, I learned to cook? What do you want this to look like when you're done? Okay, and use that. Remember that a lot of learning occurs in non-traditional ways, right? So let's take advantage of that and acknowledge that. Let your child know, hey, I see how much you're reading. That's awesome. I see that you made dinner last night or made a grocery list or cleaned the bathroom, whatever it may be. You did these things. So offer praise often, 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 often. Our older kids want that praise too. They want you to talk to them and say, what are you doing? What do your assignments look like? How are you spending your time? Have those conversations. Okay? Praise goes a really, really, really long way. Sometimes for our younger kids, we need a little bit more than just praise. We might need some tangible rewards. Okay? You can make a star chart. You can make a sticker chart of if you complete this assignment, then you get some YouTube time. Then you get to go outside and play. Then you get to ride your bike. That if-then kind of sequence is very helpful for our younger kids. Having flexibility within that, though, and recognizing that not every day is going to run the same, okay? There are going to be some days where you might be able to sit with your child a little bit more and offer that support. Other days, you're going to be pulled in different directions. So have some flexibility in there. Yes, we talked about structure, we talked about routine, and that is huge. Try to stick to that, but with some flexibility in mind, okay? And encourage social learning. I think this is really, really, really important, especially for our older kids. If they have all their assignments in front of them and laid out for the week and they've written their daily to-do list and they have their expectations, but they don't want to just sit in front of their computer and do it, maybe they can FaceTime a friend who's in the same class and they can work on that together. There can be some conversation going on at the same time. We're social beings. We need that. Okay? So encourage your older kids to do that, to call their friends, to talk about their work together. Maybe even just having that friend on the screen at the same time while they're quietly doing their schoolwork might be helpful. Okay? So realistic expectations, some flexibility, praise, problem solving, talking about how they want to come out of this. What do they want at the end of the day? And I think we really want to just be happy and healthy when this is all said and done, right? That is the main goal. So again, be gentle on yourself, be gentle on your student, have realistic expectations, okay? Pick your battles also though, all right? Offer praise when it's due, encourage your child, and be a role model. If our children see us getting up and doing our work and maintaining some structure and some consistency, yes, we may not see them fall in line right away, but they're going to see that we are setting that example. Okay, so think about yourself. Think about what motivates you right now when things are difficult. Is it a paycheck? And in order to do that, we need to go to work, right? We need to log on. We need to participate. We need to be engaged. So for our students, what is that motivates them? Is it a grade, even if it's just a pass-fail right now? Is that what's motivating them? If so, then what do they need to do to meet that expectation? And maybe it looks different from what it did 6 weeks ago or 7 weeks ago. But help them write out what they need to do to meet that expectation. Okay? Flexibility, structure and consistency within that, problem solving, praise, and hopefully at the end of the day, we can all feel a little bit more motivated. But also too, I think it's important to remember, we want to come out of this happy, we want to come out of this healthy. So does that mean 8 hours of schoolwork a day? Probably not. Build in some time for fun. build in some time for relaxation, build in some time for some self-soothing, and some family time. We all need that right now. So I hope that that was helpful, and I hope you all, find some motivation in your day and hang in there. Bye-bye.